Then Jacob went briskly and cheerfully on his way 400 miles, and came to the land of the people of the east. As he looked, he saw a well in the field, and behold, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it, for out of that well the flocks were watered. The stone on the well's mouth was a big one, and when all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone from the well's mouth, water the sheep, and replace the stone on the well's mouth. And Jacob said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" And they said, "We are from Haran." Jacob said to them, "Do you know Laban, the grandson of Nahor?" And they said, "We know him." He said to them, "Is it well with him?" And they said, "He is doing well. And behold, here comes his daughter Rachel with his sheep." He said, "The sun is still high. It is a long time yet before the flocks need be gathered in their folds. Why not water the sheep and return them to their pasture?" But they said, "We cannot until all the flocks are gathered together." Then the shepherds roll the stone from the well's mouth, and we water the sheep. While he was still talking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she shepherded them. When Jacob saw Rachel, daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his uncle, Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of his uncle Laban. Then Jacob kissed Rachel, and he wept aloud. Jacob told Rachel he was her father's relative, Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. When Laban heard of the arrival of Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and embraced and kissed him and brought him to his house. And Jacob told Laban all these things. Then Laban said to him, "Surely you are my bone and my flesh." And Jacob stayed with him a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Just because you are my relative, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me, what shall your wages be?" Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were weak and dull looking, but Rachel was beautiful and attractive. And Jacob loved Rachel. So he said, "I will work for you for 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter." And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than to another man. Stay and live with me." And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of the love he had for her. Finally, Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my time is completed, so that I may take her to me." And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast with drinking. But when night came, he took Leah his daughter and brought her to Jacob, who had intercourse with her. And Laban gave Zilpah his maid to his daughter Leah to be her maid. But in the morning, Jacob saw his wife, and behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? Did I not work for you all those 7 years for Rachel? Why then have you deceived and cheated and thrown me down like this?" And Laban said, "It is not permitted in our country to give the younger in marriage before the elder. Finish the wedding feast week for Leah. Then we will give you Rachel also, and you shall work for me yet 7 more years in return." So Jacob complied and fulfilled Leah's week. Then Laban gave him Rachel his daughter as his wife, and Laban gave Bilhah his maid to Rachel his daughter to be her maid. And Jacob lived with Rachel also as his wife, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and served Laban another 7 years for her. And when the Lord saw that Leah was despised, he made her able to bear children, but Rachel was barren. And Leah became pregnant and bore a son and named him Reuben, see a son,
For she said, "Because the Lord has seen my humiliation and affliction, now my husband will love me." Leah became pregnant again and bore a son and said, "Because the Lord heard that I am despised, he has given me this son also." And she named him Simeon, God hears. And she became pregnant again and bore a son and said, "Now this time will my husband be a companion to me, for I have borne him 3 sons." Therefore he was named Levi, companion. Again she conceived and bore a son, and she said, "Now will I praise the Lord." So she called his name Judah, praise. Then for a time she ceased bearing.